Despite his popularity, Wolverine, Marvel's clawed mutant who does his job very, very well, is a character that can seem a little menacing at times. But perhaps he's the most menacing when we see twisted versions of him. We're talking alternates from other universes that have morphed into more violent, ruthless, or disturbing versions of Logan, either by choice or by necessity. Today, we're taking a closer look at some of these with our list of the top 10 scary alternate Wolverines. Let's jump in. In at number 10, Jim Logan from Marvel Noir. Jim Logan is scary because he's one of the most realistic alternate versions on this list. You could very well see him walking down the streets of our own reality, and that's blood-chilling. But let's backtrack for a moment. Jim Logan of the Marvel Noir universe, aka Earth 90214, is actually two versions of Wolverine. There's a substantial continuity error in this universe, in which a version of Jim Logan appears in X-Men Noir and another in Wolverine Noir. They're both categorized as the same individual, but based on the stories, it doesn't seem like that's actually the case, and it's never been confirmed which one is canon. The first, who appears in X-Men Noir Mark of Cain, is a Wolverine who is a bootlegger with a mysterious past. His former lover was Jean Grey, and he's responsible for scratching out Cyclops' left eye. He spends most of his time drunk, and his claws aren't part of his body, but rather are a separate physical weapon. And the second? Well, he's from Wolverine Noir, and he's a detective who has a gruesome past involving his Catholic upbringing. Yikes. Moving on to number 9, Ultimate Wolverine. Ultimate Wolverine started off as one of the bad guys. From Earth 1610, more commonly known as the Ultimate Universe, this version of Logan was actually a member of Magneto's Brotherhood. He worked as an assassin. He was tasked with assassinating Charles Xavier, but ended up jumping ship, changing his mind and joining up with the Ultimate X-Men instead. And for the most part, he is one of the good guys after that, minus a time when he intentionally let Cyclops presumably fall to his death because he wanted to date Jean. Perhaps the scariest part about Ultimate Wolverine, though, is what happens to him in Ultimate Wolverine vs. Hulk. Hulk famously rips the mutant in half. You've probably seen the image 1,000 times now. It's pretty gruesome. Wolverine managed to survive that and crawled up a mountainside to retrieve his legs that Hulk tossed. But Hulk beat him to it and threatens to eat one of his legs if Wolverine doesn't leave him alone. Luckily, She-Hulk arrives and saves the day, and Wolverine manages to collect his legs. Don't you just hate it when half of your body is thrown a very far distance away from you and then you have to go collect your limbs? Ugh, it's the worst. In at number 8, Weapon X from Earth 295, the Age of Apocalypse timeline. The Age of Apocalypse Wolverine is known as Weapon X, and later Weapon Omega after he sacrifices himself to save the world from its destruction at the hands of Celestials. Now, this happened after the main events of the timeline, after a period of peace prior to the Celestial spaceship landing in the middle of Manhattan. Weapon X is revealed to be the heir of Apocalypse, and he turns evil, calling himself Weapon Omega, until Jean Grey, who is married to him in this reality, manages to win him back over to the side of reason and good, all by ridding him of something called a death seed that was influencing him. In at number 7, HYDRA Wolverine. Nazis definitely fall under the definition of scary, and while HYDRA isn't explicitly a Nazi organization, well, they do have a lot in common. This is why the idea of a HYDRA version of any of our beloved favorite characters is shocking. Remember that time the internet lost its over Captain America being a HYDRA sleeper agent, but turned out he actually wasn't? Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. That's what makes this number especially scary though. HYDRA Wolverine, who first appeared in Exiles issue 92, was evil, and shacking up with an evil Sue Storm, who was that universe's Madame Hydra. The two of them conquered their universe, but they got kind of greedy and wanted to claim the entire multiverse, hopping around to different realities trying to take them over. That is, until they ran into the Exiles and an alternate version of Kitty Pryde, who kicked their butts. In at number 6, Earth X. An overweight, chain-smoking, beer-drinking Wolverine who wears "I'm with stupid" t-shirts? Yeah, that's pretty horrifying. Jokes aside though, this is a version of James Howlett who exists in a dystopian world where all regular human beings have also gained powers, with the heroes we know and love having trouble coping with the fact that their abilities are now commonplace. In this world, Wolverine doesn't manage to stand out much. He's not a mutant, but he is a member of the Wolf Clan. But he has become a bit of a couch potato despite being married to Jean Grey. He was once an X-Men, but now is retired. He also seems to be a bit of an asshole. And really, that's scary. He's kind of ruining a character we love. In at number 5, Counter-Earth Hawkeye. Maybe it's something about his expression that lands him this high on our list, but Counter-Earth Hawkeye, aka a version of Wolverine that appeared in Franklin Richards' Pocket Universe, is pretty scary to look at. He's also down to hunt and kill a child, so that says a lot about his character. First appearing in Onslaught Reborn number 1, he wore a mask pretending to be Hawkeye on the Avengers team. But under that mask, the truth was that he was James Howlett, with only Captain America knowing his true identity at first. But look at him, you guys. He's kind of spooky. Those eyes, In at number 4, Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan's reality and what he's running from are the true horrors of this number. What a bleak way to start a number, eh? But it's the truth. Old Man Logan, who hails from Earth 807128, is an aged version of Wolverine, who has definitely seen some shit. Initially a character in a self-contained story arc in the Wolverine series, Old Man Logan became popular with readers and then got his own spin-off. A very dark and grim spin-off nonetheless, but one of the most memorable and impactful alternate timeline stories of the characters. Now in his world, the world has been conquered and divided amongst supervillains. When all this first happened, Wolverine was tricked into killing his fellow X-Men, causing him to exile himself when he realized that wasn't the case. He was under an illusion. He swore that he would never unleash his claws again because of it. Flash forward to much later. He's got a wife and kids, and he owes a debt to his landlord, an irradiated and absolutely insane version of the Hulk, who has inbred children with She-Hulk known as the HAWKEYE. Incest is nasty, my friends. Anyway, skipping through all of the plot here, Banner orders Logan's family to be killed, and eventually Logan ends up coming face to face with Banner, who then proceeds to eat him whole. But fear not, friends, Wolverine claws his way out of the Hulk's stomach to be free and to defeat him. Talk about a lot to digest. Yes, pun fully intended. In at number 3, Old Man Venom from Earth 17673. First appearing in Edge of Venomverse issue 4, Old Man Venom is from Earth 17673 and is actually an alternate of our previous number, Old Man Logan from Earth 807128. The difference is that in this universe, Old Man Logan tells Bruce Banner Jr. the truth about his parentage, and Banner Jr. ends up beating him to a pulp, leaving him unconscious. Logan is then kidnapped by Warren Worthington III, who tricks him into thinking Logan's son is alive. Turns out, it's a trap, with Warren's intention being to kill Logan, alongside Banner Jr. and Ashley Barton, whose empire Logan and Hawkeye dismantled. They unleash the venomized T-Rex on him, and he's swallowed whole by it. But in the process, the Venom symbiote jumps ship, bonding with Logan instead, and Logan, once again, tears his way out of another monster's stomach, and looks utterly terrifying while doing it. He would later partake in the Venomverse story event. In at 2, Vampire Wolverine. Hailing from What If issue 24, we've got some classic horror-inspired frights in this alternate. Vampire Wolverine. This, like all other What If tales, was a hypothetical storyline in which Wolverine defeated Dracula, and then drank his blood, becoming the Lord of the Vampires. Actually, he goes around, turns a bunch of X-Men and mutants into vampires, and then causes chaos all over New York. There's a lot of killing and a lot of blood, and due to the vampire infestation that he causes, New York is quarantined. Speaking of horror staples though, that brings us to our next and final number, in at 1, Zombie Wolverine from Earth 2149. The Marvel Zombies universe. An Earth where a sentry from another reality punched his way through into this one, carrying a zombie virus while doing it, which then infected everyone on this Earth and turned them into flesh-eating monsters. Fun stuff. Logan becomes infected early on, with the virus overwhelming his healing factor, preventing him from healing from injuries like he normally would. But his adamantium bones are still stronger than his rotting flesh. Luckily for Logan, he manages to partake in killing the Silver Surfer, and thus gains the power Cosmic, which allows him and several other zombified heroes to devour Galactus. This turns them into a group of creatures known as the Galacti. He would eventually be teleported to Earth 91126 alongside other surviving zombies, and in the process, he would lose his cosmic powers. Probably for the best. Alright, there we have it, friends. What other alternate versions of Wolverine spook you out? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know your thoughts and feels. If you dug this video, you guys know what to do. Hit that like button, share it with a friend, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more lists just like this one. In the meantime, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you all in the next video.